Hello, everyone. Donna B. Height here, and today I am talking to Katie Hominsky, and she lives in Medina, or outside of Medina, Montville Township, I think, right? I
No,
believe
I'm in Medina.
you are in Medina. Okay.
Yes.
And Katie is, we're going to be talking to Katie today about her health and how she is coping with the stay-at-home order and about her husband's business. So we're going to have a great conversation with Katie. So Katie, how are you doing? How are you doing with the stay-at-home order and your health, experiencing MS? So tell us how you're doing.
I'm doing okay. And you know, we met personally a few months back before obviously all this happened. And you heard about my story, the power of social media. And so I was diagnosed with MS 10 years ago, back in February of 2010. And I received a chemotherapy stem cell transplant to attempt to treat my MS and halt the disease back April 15th. 2019 was actually my STEM 1-year birthday was yesterday. So that's why this looks like this. This is the
You look
chemo hair.
beautiful. You look beautiful.
Thank you. So I'm unfortunately, but fortunately enough to already have experienced quarantine. When you are diagnosed with a disease that attacks your immune system, you tend to self-isolate a lot. So like I said, fortunately, I'm used to this. But for whatever reason, when this all started, it was more where, I was kind of just, like this is normal for me. But something did feel a little different. And I think it was because having to deal with my father-in-law who lives with us, who is going to be 84 in May and also has diabetes. He's still able to drive, but he's got a little bit of vascular dementia, stuff like that. On trying to explain to him in the beginning of this, the severity of it, not allowing him to shop. Because it's hard for him to like make a list for what he's needing and get his words out. He likes to just go to the store and walk around. And he understands now. It took a couple of weeks and a couple of weeks of, like not having him have his keys. It was very difficult. He has his keys now. So it's like when he does like leave, it's literally to drive around the block. And I understand that, but it was still like, where are you going? What are you doing?
Right.
And it is hard and it is difficult, but with my husband being so understanding about my diagnosis and even my treatment and stuff like that has also been great. But I was personally very, very, very sick the entire month of February. I truly believe it was COVID. I don't have a diagnosis at all of that. I'm kind of excited about the testing for the antibodies I read about in the last week.
Yeah.
I am curious about that to see if I'm ever able to get that, because looking back, being as sick as I was, I did test positive for influenza B. I was in the ER twice. The second time I was taken by ambulance, and that time I was finally tested. But it was everything. I look back on my chart and it was everything. The sore throat for one day, the cough, it was so much in my chest. Luckily my chest was clear. I didn't get pneumonia. But the first person who was sick was our 12-year-old son. And he missed a week's worth of school at the end of January, beginning of February. He missed a Friday. He tried to recuperate over the weekend. He went to school Monday, but then missed the rest of the week. And he had the sore throat, then the cough, then the fever for a week. And he went back to school the following week, but he still felt a little funny, but he was fine to go to school. But it caused me to get sick the entire month of February. And if it wasn't that, then I can't even imagine what the actual having coronavirus and diagnosis feels like, especially for the people. If, like I said, if I did have it, I was fortunate enough not to be hospitalized, even though when I was taken by ambulance, my blood pressure was 70/40, and I was almost passing out. I couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
I literally could not breathe. Um, so I was also trying to not have a panic attack when that was happening. That's very difficult to do when you can't breathe. I have a stepson, um, that has chronic asthma, and is actually also an essential worker as well. Um, so that's very worrisome for me as a parent with that. With him doing that, my husband and him, my husband owns the Muffler Boss. I'm actually wearing the shirt.
Good
Um,
marketing. Good marketing.
yeah, I didn't even, I was like, it's just comfortable. And I was like, oh, I'll just wear my shirt.
Okay.
So even though we live in Medina, we have for over a decade. The shop is located in Northfield. It's just a quick 30-minute drive from our house. But people don't really think about, mechanic shops. They're kind of on the lower end of the essential worker list in my head. But it's like for the people that are the grocery store, you know, employees and the gas station employees and the doctors and the nurses, they need their car serviced. If they're at the point of an oil change or over their oil change where their engine's going to blow up, or something's not wrong where they need to get their car fixed to go to work, for our healthcare system and our grocery stores and gas stations to still function, that is why mechanic shops are still open, because they need their car serviced. But like one of my older sister lives in Parma, and she was telling me like the franchise with Conrad's, I guess they let like 15 people go and kept their two top mechanics to run the register and run the shop, because that's the safest thing to do. And with my husband Tony, and like I said, Frankie is the one that has the chronic asthma, and he's the one that, it's called the Muffler Boss, and he's really the guru of that. He's very fortunate. He's very young. He's in his 20s. He's married. He has a child, and he actually is one on the way. His wife is pregnant, and she's
Well,
due in June.
congratulations.
Thank you. I'm so excited. I mean, it's so exciting, but it's like she's due at the end of June. But I'm just like, first of all, as of right now, no one's allowed to be at the hospital in the waiting room. No one's allowed to, we're doing a virtual baby shower. The only thing I'm excited about is, and as long as it's okay with Julia and Frankie, is, I'm the one that doesn't go anywhere. I don't go anywhere. So when that baby's born, like, I just want to see it. Like, I'll come over, but it's like outside the window. I'm not at risk of anything. But the problem is technically I am, because being that my husband owns the mechanic shop with Frankie, and he's the one going to the grocery stores. So technically, even though I'm not leaving my home, he's still out there and trying to social distance as best as possible. And especially with the shop, like, I run their marketing for, the website, social media sites and stuff like that for the business. And, when Governor DeWine went and did the stay-at-home order, I immediately made, a post for them, like I do all the time, but just explaining, like, please to call ahead and make the arrangements if, the lovely Ohio weather, it's 61 day and snow the next. And I hope my dogs don't start barking.
No, you're fine.
Yeah. But anyway, so like to make arrangements for, the customers, whether they drop their vehicle off or you have to stay outside the building, because these are the things that have changed. And, I have experienced social distancing myself, even with my husband's oldest child. His only daughter lives directly behind us. And I saw her a day or two after when we had the tornado.
Oh, yeah.
Which was, oh my God,
Scary.
we were downstairs, Vinny was between my legs, hearing like literally the freight train come closer and closer and closer. I'm like, this is it. This is, so they live behind us, and she's engaged, but her fiance lives in Canton. So she's got two girls who are 13 and 10. So I'm just like trying to call her. So anyway, so a day or two after I walked over there, and but like, it was almost like we wanted to hug, but we did, we just kept like, are you okay? Are you, like, just kept backing up from each other, and whatnot. But it's awkward. It's awkward when you talk to somebody and you're
Well,
6 feet away from them.
I know it is. And, you know, even for people who aren't very socially engaged, you know, after tornadoes or after those types of disasters or you know, those types of events, your natural inclination
Yeah.
is to comfort someone, and to do that you want to pull them
Yeah.
close. And you know, and not being able to do that, it hurts your soul. I mean,
Yeah.
it's hard.
Well, yeah, my youngest my granddaughters, you know, I just wanted to hug them because I was trying to call Kristen while the tornado was happening, and I could actually hear her and she couldn't hear me. And just even her voice saying hello, you could tell she was scared. But then I was hearing the youngest one, who's 10, Soph, she was crying in the background. So I just wanted to go there the next day and just hug her. And I'm just like, from a distance, I'm like, are you okay? I love you. Yaya loves you. It's okay. And I just, because I won't, even with that, I'm still like, I thought about that immediately after the tornado, how many people were comforting each other, neighbors. And I'm just like, people, we're still in a pandemic.
I
You know what I
know,
mean?
I know,
I,
and it's
I like,
so hard. It
it
is.
is,
It's so
it's
hard.
very hard.
Yes.
It definitely is. So, but yeah, with being diagnosed with MS and then also going through a chemotherapy bone marrow transplant, I am more, you know, at risk of anything. And again, I could have already had it. Um, I don't know, but it's really worrisome to, you know, see people that are out there that are elderly or have an underlying disability, like MS, lupus, you know, fibromyalgia, stuff that the invisible diseases you can't see. When someone looks at me using my blue handicap placard, they're just like, what are you doing? Okay. I'm in pain.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, I tell you what, let's do this again. Let's talk soon, maybe in a few
absolutely.
weeks, and we'll check in and see how you're doing. And I'd love to talk to you some
Absolutely.
more. And please stay safe, everybody. Wash your hands. Good hygiene.
Yes. Wash your
Wash
hands.
your hands.
Yes.
Lots of hand
Yes.
washing
Wash
and lots of lotions. I tell you, my hands
lots of lotion. Yeah.
my hands are getting chapped. I
They
need to put
hurt.
lots of lotion on. They do. They do.
I'm not even going anywhere. My hands hurt.
I know. All right. Well, you take care of yourself, Katie, and we'll talk again soon. Bye bye.
Thanks, Donna. You too. Bye bye.